Here's a funny joke about three nuns in the desert. Three nuns are on a mission to take food to a remote village in Africa. So they board a light aircraft, they put all of the supplies on and they start flying. Now it's a very long flight and they have to fly over lots of wilderness, all abandoned desert. And halfway through the flight, the engine stalls and the pilot says to them, "Ladies, unfortunately, you need to start praying to God because the engine has failed and we're about to crash land in the desert." So they all brace themselves for the crash. The pilot does his best to do a crash landing, but unfortunately the plane crashes down and is obliterated and the pilot unfortunately dies. So the three nuns all survive and they are trapped in the middle of the desert and it is baking hot and they have their full nuns outfits on. So they're dressed from head to toe in black and they are boiling. So after a few hours, they realize that there's no hope. They're not going to be able to walk to safety. They just need to wait to be rescued. So they look around to see what has survived the wreckage and they find some huge bags of flour that they were taking to the village. But unfortunately, their water tank has ruptured and they've got no water whatsoever and they're starving. So the Mother Superior, the senior nun, says, "Okay, ladies, what we need to do, we need to try to make some bread using this flour and that will give us sustenance, that will enable us to survive long enough until somebody comes to rescue us." So the first nun says, "Well, Mother Superior, how can we make bread? We don't have any water. We need to put water on the flour to make it into dough to then bake it in this sun and eat it, but we don't have any water." The Mother Superior says, "Ladies, I've had inspiration from our Lord and he has told me that one of us has to urinate on this flour to make it into dough and then that will provide us with bread to keep us going. So I ask you as the youngest nun to go over and urinate on that flour." So the first nun doesn't look very happy, but after a while she says, "Okay, I'll try." So she goes over to the flour, makes a big pile. She pulls up her nun's outfit, pulls down her knickers and tries to have a wee on top of the flour. But of course, they're in the middle of the desert. They haven't had a drink for a long time. They're really dehydrated. So she tries and she tries and she tries, but nothing comes out. She can't even squeeze out a drop. She says, "It's no good. I'm completely dehydrated. I can't do it." So the Mother Superior says, "It's okay, my child. Your sister will help you." So she turns to the other nun and says, "You will have to urinate on the flour to make the dough so that we can eat and stay alive." So the second nun doesn't look very happy, but eventually she goes over, she pulls up her outfit, she pulls down her knickers and she crouches over the pile of flour and she tries and she tries and she tries, but she's also really dehydrated, so she can't do it. And she says, "Mother, I can't do it. I don't have any moisture in my body. I cannot do it. I can't make the bread." So the Mother Superior says, "Oh, for goodness sake, I have to do everything around here myself. Get out of the way. Let me show you how it's done." So the Mother Superior goes marching over. She pulls up her nun's outfit. She pulls down her knickers. She crouches over the flour and she starts to heave. She goes, "Her, her, her." And suddenly she does the most enormous fart and all of the flour flies up in the air and the air is completely filled with flour and it's a fog of flour. And the Mother Superior falls over and is rolling around on the floor. And as she looks over to the other two nuns, she sees them on the floor pissing themselves laughing.